Hey there, welcome to another Minisode Monday. This is the first video edition. The last one I did, I was just testing the waters and got really cool feedback. But this is episode 2 of Minisode Monday. And today we are talking about the pros and cons of Facebook pages versus Facebook profiles. Here we go. Okay, so I've been getting a lot of questions from you about the pros and cons of having a Facebook business page or like a public figure page on Facebook versus using your personal profile. And so what we're going to do here is explore the differences between the two and talk about some of the pros and cons. Now, I can speak to this from personal experience because I do have a public figure page promoting myself as a brand on Facebook, and I also have my personal profile. So let's start with the business page, and I'm just going to kind of walk you through some of the things that I see as pros and cons. So, the first thing, let's talk about pros here for Facebook business pages. The first thing is, there are more tools on a page for building a brand. There's things like notes, I can do polls, I can ask questions, and I can build a targeted audience based on whatever messaging I want to convey. So, big pro here for me is getting the message out to an audience that in some way, shape, or form was opt-in. In other words, it's not like my grandma or my mom or something like that liking my page, although I do think my mom does like my public figure page. But most of the people following and liking and engaging on my business page are people who have specific interests, who have specific problems that I have the solutions or the answers or the content for. Something I've been experimenting with are some of the tools like the notes feature. I think is a really cool I shouldn't call it micro blogging, but a blogging platform. And it's impressive, how much reach those posts get and how encouraging they are of engagement. So, first thing, like I said, is there are more tools for building a brand and building a business embedded in the pages format versus a personal profile. I also mentioned targeting or building a targeted audience. And that leads me to the next pro. And that is, that I can advertise. So if I want to put a little bit of money behind boosting a post or boosting a message or full on running ads through Ads Manager or Power Editor, I can do that on a page. I can't do it with my personal profile. I don't think. If I'm wrong on that, somebody chime in and comment on this video or on this post at the show notes to let me know if that's wrong or not. But as of today, that's a convenience to me to be able to boost posts. I get all the reporting that goes along with that, which I think is really important as well. So, from a marketing perspective, I like the features that are built into a page that help me grow a targeted audience and help me distribute a message to my audience so that I can get qualified reach, not just quantity reach. Now, some of the cons with that, it takes time to build an audience. You're adding another channel here, something that you have to be consistent on, something that you have to manage, and something that you have to really put some effort into understanding your audience, identifying who they are, and coming up with content that's share-worthy and information that's share-worthy so that you can build this targeted following. Now, I would definitely not suggest paying for likes like you heard me talk about in episode 94 with Kathy Cruz, where she said, a lot of those paid likes are coming from Turkey and stuff like that. You want to be really focused on building a presence, and that can take time. And I think for that reason, that's one of the biggest cons I would have. The other con to having a page is that I can't join any groups or participate in group conversations. And for me, that's kind of a big downer about the page because I can't proactively join in any of these conversations that are happening. So that's something to keep in mind. So those are kind of my big top pros and cons of a Facebook page. Again, if I miss any, I'd love for you to comment on the video or on the show notes at www.thedealerplaybook.com/minisode-2 is where you can find this episode. Now, let's talk about the personal profile. There are some definite pros and cons to having a business profile or having a personal profile rather, and building out a presence there. The first and foremost, it can get cluttered. I mean, yes, you're there already, and that's a pro. Obviously, you're using it actively. You have the Facebook app on your phone, and it's inherently wanting you to use your personal profile. But along that same line, everybody's there, not just your mom, but your entire family and all your friends and people outside of the industry who probably have no interest in anything that you're going to talk about. And so it's very easy for people to just go unfollow. Like maybe they're not going to unfriend you, but they're going to unfollow until they're blue in the face because they don't want to see what you're posting. And the problem with that is the more people that unfollow, essentially marking you as spam, the less your stuff is going to show up in the news feed. And so that's something to be very, very cautious about. But a big pro, I know I kind of broke my mold here and I just started grouping things together, so bear with me. But a pro of a page is that you can join groups and you can get involved and you can meet new people and add new friends and expand your network. And so that might have some positive business implications about building out awareness about who you are as a real human being. And so, for that reason, I really like my business profile or my personal profile. Again, some of the cons, the spam effect, unfollowing. And for me, that's I think the biggest reason why I wouldn't, I got to think about that, but that's probably one of the biggest reasons I wouldn't recommend if you're a professional who wants to build a targeted following using your personal profile. Having said that, Facebook obviously wants us to participate in both. And so if you're considering a Facebook page over a Facebook business page or public profile page over a personal profile, you need to take all of these things into consideration. Okay, guys, that's it for this episode of Minisode Monday. I hope you got value out of it. I hope it gives you something to chew on as you navigate your strategy for building your brand and building a presence between having a Facebook business page or a dedicated page versus using your personal profile. If there's anything I missed, I'd love to hear the pros and cons of each. Hit me up at the show notes, www.thedealerplaybook.com/Minisode-2. And of course, if you're watching here on YouTube, I would love a like and a subscribe, and I always look forward to your comments. They are like my oxygen. So definitely leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, guys, keep the playbook open and dominate.